You know what I mean? In the biblical
But hold
days,
on, is it easy, bro? It's
absolutely.
easy to what? It's easy to what? To run it yourself as a job, or is it to scale? Is that still considered easy?
Okay, so it's easy to start the business, but it's hard to get that phone to ring. So therefore, you're going to get a reality check. How good is your hustle? How good can you do this? Unless you have a big budget to go out and pay for leads and do what you got to do. Because some people would like to sit on their butt and have it come to them.
But
But
Mr.
then there's
Yee, I don't think that's the answer either, brother. I don't think you're going to be that profitable doing it that way, man. I think it's all around. I want to get your guys' thoughts, man. Adam,
yeah,
you've been in the
please.
game for many years.
That's
Julio,
why I
what's your
said
thoughts
this.
on this, man?
So
Scaling.
so scaling is not easy. I mean, I've not done it yet, but I'm finally at the point where I think I can, and I think like if you have money, it's a little easier to scale.
Oh, oh.
I do think scaling takes some sort of financial backing, just because like I've liked how I've grown it this far, and fortunately, it hasn't cost me anything physically to this point. Like my joints are all good, my back's good, my neck's good, no pain or anything. But you can't do it forever. Like I don't want to be Ricardo in 10 years still doing on the truck. Like I hope to be off the truck in the next 2 years and really only going to estimates and like cherry picking stuff from jobs, because I'm still gonna be into finding treasures, dude. Like that's like
So
one of my
are you trying to open different doors with junk? Are you trying to open different doors and using junk removal to open those doors for you?
well, yeah, I mean, I've already kind of like gotten into the antique world a little bit, and I've done
Mm-hmm.
a lot of wholesaling with different vendors and stuff. Like I have
Mm-hmm.
this one, lady who sells nothing but vintage Christmas and Halloween decorations. That's what she's into. I have
Yeah.
a guy who really likes trains. I have another guy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's nice to find homes for stuff and also make a little dough off it. That's kind of nice too.
That right there's a good hustle right there because you're the middleman for all that. And
Yep.
it's just like the guy from the TV show that we're going to have on here in a few weeks. That's exactly what he does. He goes in people's home, he gets his crew coming in, and they find a buyer for everything in that house, and
Oh,
they
it's
capitalize on that.
Guys, Matt Paxton from Filthy Fortunes will be
Plug.
our guest June 13th on Forget About It Fridays on Filtered, guys. So mark that on the calendar. Come with all the questions. We want to find out what's going on behind the scenes on Filthy Fortunes. Matt's going to show us all. So definitely
Hmm.
check that out.
What do you think about that, Julio? What do you think about junk removal doing a lot of other things for you? Go ahead, spill the beans. Oh, hold on, hang on, he's muted.
No, no. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Come
Yes.
on, Paul, baby. Come on, baby.
You're
Go ahead,
good. You're
Who?
good. You're good.
I was gonna say, well, I mean, with drunk removal, it can open up so many up like other doors if you really just let it happen. I don't know. I mean, working with Matt and JoJo, I mean, I've been networking with so many other different people, and I mean, you never know who you come across. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel sometimes you just gotta like sit down and just listen. I mean, I'm just trying to sit down and listen and just learn from everybody else that's been in the business for years, or people that are just starting, nowadays. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like it could expand if you just like really like let it open the doors.
I think a lot of people don't realize that it does expand already because you're selling a lot of stuff that you get from these jobs. And that's a whole different business right there. Like Adam was saying, he knows a hook up with this, he knows a hook up with this, a person selling this for him, and all he has to do is just receive it. And
Yeah,
then he throws it like a quarterback and scores a touchdown with it. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And that's just to me, I think junk removal can do so much more for you. And a lot of people put so much money back into the business, but sometimes that could probably be a financial burden. And now maybe you're married to it, and now it's kind of hard to get out of it because you put so much into it when you could have just, you know, not stayed at a certain level, but just don't fix something that's not broken. And if it's working and you're getting money and you're taking vacations and you're just living life, that's the American dream right there. I don't know what you're
Yeah.
talking about, but and then if it allows you to open the door for another business and you can do a other side business, open this up, open that up, and you could tell your story and say, hey, I did all this by taking garbage, basura, trash. I made it happen. And trust me, that's one hell of a story.
Well, I mean, if you guys don't want me asking, I mean, Paul, Adam, and Mr. Yee,
Yee!
what's your guys' future? You think in like 5 to 10 years? What are you guys planning to do besides just a junk removal? Are you guys planning to just stick with it? Or are you guys planning to move on to something else that opens the doors up too? Or what's your guys' plan on doing? I mean, Paul, you have multiple businesses already, but I mean, what's your main goal? You know?
Did Matt actually ask that question?
Nah.
Okay, I'm just verifying that. Okay.
I couldn't honestly tell you, man. You know, I am enjoying the journey. I'm trying to learn the business as I go, and I'm also trying to figure out in my head where does it make sense for me to go as far as scaling. How big do I want to go? You know what I mean? Not meaning like can I go just extremely big, but how big does it make sense? Because you know I see a lot of guys where I'm kind of questioning, you know, just having a number of trucks, you know, having 5 or 6 trucks, but sometimes I'm thinking the 2 to 3 trucks is making the same amount as the 5, 6 trucks. So I'm just trying to figure out why, you know, would it be worth it then to put all your time and focus into running such a stressful business, you know, if scaling that big is a lot harder, you know, where, you know, maybe it might be more smart to, you know, scale to a certain size, use that cash flow, bring it into a semi-passive business that you can make, you know, just as much and maybe not dedicate and marry so much time, you know. So, you know, I'm just kind of learning, man, seeing where I believe is the max in it, you know, where it makes sense. Do you guys understand what I'm saying by that? You know, because you know, I see a lot of guys that just they're getting a lot of trucks. But I also, when you have the conversation with them, you know, they got the headaches of having 6 trucks, but I sometimes think that they're making the same profit of a 2, 3 truck kind of guy.
All this weight on their shoulder, carrying all
Yeah,
that weight, and just it's just, you know, you want to speak on that, Adam? You want to
I
give
mean,
us
I
your?
think all the overhead that they have going on with that. So like a lot of those guys who have 6 trucks, like what's their, you know, Google ad spend? What is their day-to-day overhead have to be to like maintain that? And then if you have a couple bad days or a couple like breakdowns or whatever, like I think it squashes all that profit from the good days. You know what I mean? Like I think if you can have 2 to 3 and keep them busy every day and like keep your overhead reasonably low, you're going to make a good living for sure.
Can we answer this? JB Holland
Yes.
says every 100K add 1 employee, 1 truck. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, hang on, Julio. You know what I mean? If you're making 100K, if he says making 100K, are you clearing 100K? Or did you just make 100K and now after taxes it's 50K? And, you know, that adding an employee or adding a truck can be so much money you're paying every month for those insurances and coverage. So is that best to do, or is that best to use that 100K and maybe go invest into something else and keep the cow bringing in milk and getting that leche? You know what I'm talking about? And then just keep on getting money with junk removal and kind of keeping it quiet, but investing into an umbrella, mutual funds, this, that, and putting your money so many places and just sitting back and watching it grow. That's just a tip from the Yee.
Sarah says something right here. She says 100K isn't enough in California, in my opinion, and you're 100% right with that. I believe in, you know, California, North Cal. I know. I think you could still get food stamps if you make like 100K. You know, like on the book. So I mean, yeah, 100K in Cali is not.
Some people smoke 100K. Hello, you know what I'm saying? That's just some people. Some people walk around with a bag. I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
But this is one of the questions that I'm putting out to
Mhm.
the community, and what I'm looking for is I'm looking for somebody with the answers that's living it right now. You know what I mean? I've had a lot of people on, but I haven't actually got what I'm looking for as far as an answer. And you know, so if
As
you
in,
know somebody,
as
please.
in, as in living that life, like, you know, you got this big business, you got 5, 6, 7 trucks, but how are you living? Are you taking those
No, no,
nice
no, no. But I just want to know from them, like having
Yeah.
that 5, 6 trucks, were they making the same? Are they making the same that they
Oh,
were
okay.
when it was a smaller business, 2, 3 trucks with a lot less headaches? And if they could look back now, would they stay in this business or would they keep it at a certain size, maybe the 2, 3 trucks, and then look to go and expand in other businesses or industries? That is one of the questions I have for the community. And I've been just trying to, like, you know, figure out who's like in that position with the scaling and all that. So if you guys know somebody, I'm definitely would love to get them on, you know, on an interview for sure.
Well,
And
maybe we
Denise
should.
says gross or net 100K. I'm gonna say, you know, just from that, it has to be net. Like, there's no way, because now
Oh,
you're gonna pay the salary for the year plus workers comp. I mean, at 100%, you would practically be breaking even or losing money if it was a
Maintenance on
gross.
the maintenance on that truck after a year, because you know the way Julio drives that truck. I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
Julio, give us some crazy. We want to hear the craziest story, brother.
No, I'm just playing, Matt. I'm just playing. You know what I'm saying? JoJo, you too. I'm just playing. I'm just
Like,
I want to hear the craziest story, brother, of you like driving and any crazy stories that happened.
uh,
Get out the way, motherfucker! Damn, I'm trying to get to this job. I'm already late.
Matt
you
and JoJo earmuffs.
California for sure. I mean, you got people sometimes when you got a big truck sometimes, and you're driving. You got people sometimes that cut you off, or they don't realize that you're driving a big truck sometimes, and you can't slow down as much as you want. So sometimes when you try to pull the brakes, sometimes people are like, "Oh, we can't slow down as like regular cars." So I feel like sometimes just crazy drivers around California.
Carson says, my opinion after 3 years of being in the business is being a owner operator is ideal. Or you franchise and need 10 locations minimum for the business to be worth the sacrifice. Nothing in between. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
Ooh.
Go ahead, Adam. Get him, Adam. Go ahead, Adam. Speak.
Go ahead.
So I've recently been talking to a couple of people because I'm considering taking in an investor. So I've been by myself. Technically, my dad holds 10% of the business because when I initially started it, the business was 50-50 with a lifelong friend of mine who I bought out after 2 years. And I didn't want to dissolve the partnership, so I gave 10% to my dad. He doesn't do anything with it. So anyway, I've been thinking about taking in an investor for like 10 to 20% of my company to try and, like, you know, bring in some capital, and then also bring in someone who financially has money to give me like a decent line of credit that I could work off if I ever needed to, sort of thing, to help go into the next phase of what I want to do with the business. And I don't really want to do franchises. Well, this particular guy happens to um, run a business that's in 40 couple states, and they do a franchise model, but one of his competitors does what they call basically they're just partners with the new locations. So any new location that starts, instead of a franchise model, they kind of like partner with them. And I think that model, you wouldn't need 10 locations. I think you'd only need 3 or 4, and you would do really decent for yourself, honestly. Like, especially if you got 4 locations that were doing well.
Okay,
'Cause
but what's it look like running 4 locations in junk removal on a daily basis? Are you
so
gonna have a GM then? Do they have like a GM? Like,
well, exactly. They have their owner. So you find other people who want to buy in, and it's their business. You own probably 25 to 35% of it, versus only getting 3 to 5% in franchise royalties and then anything else you can get. Like owning franchises, you don't make that much money. Now, like College Hunks makes a lot of money because they have a call center. So they charge the franchises, well, they did at that point, like $17 for every booked appointment. Plus, then they pay them the 3%, plus, all the other stuff. So it's like those fees do add up, I guess. But, for traditional franchise model, I agree. Like, you do need like 10 locations probably or more, So I think like if you can set up strategic business partners where you have a little bit more skin in the game, but you're not running it, so your day-to-day is very minimal there, and you can focus on your one location. I don't know.
What if you did like, you did 3 different places and you put three trucks in each place, and you got 4 guys that are running it, and you got 3 guys on the truck and you got the 1 GM. And that's your cash flow coming in from those 3 businesses, rather than go and start doing the franchising and start going bigger, because then you're worried about the slow seasons, and it's just a lot to worry about. What do you guys think? You guys have the experience. I'm pretty. I should have noticed. What is your guys' thoughts on that formula right there?
Oh boy. So what if you were to keep your business going the way it is, and you're already a factor in your area? You are already a factor in your area, but you notice that you may have reached a little bit of a plateau because everybody knows who you are, right? And you're constantly getting business, but you want a little bit more business. Maybe you conquer the next county over and you venture into that area and you conquer that area. Then the next county over that way, you conquer that area. And you just keep on conquering counties, boom, all in your area. And the more you get, the more you grow. Then you could say, yes, I need another Julio. I need another worker. I need this. Maybe I need another truck too. But you're still in your area and you're kind of in control of it. But you're conquering these counties that are all around you, and you're the home base right in the middle.
What I see is that, bro, is a high stress situation that you're never going to be able to just chill and be free in life, man. You're going to be highly stressed on those slow seasons. You think about what you just said, man, in North Cal, and you got 5 different counties, 5 different locations, and it's November to February slow season. You got how many employees now?
I didn't say adding a lot of employees. I just said
But
reaching out to
I'm just
another
saying, so if
county.
before you go to a county, you're going to do, we're saying 2 to 3 trucks in each place. How the hell are you going to keep that going, bro? That's
There's a
why I'm
lot of
saying if you
there's
want,
a there's a lot of people out here in the Bay Area who venture outside their county to get money. And they're reaching a big span, but they're making it happen with
so
less is best.
who we bringing on interview? Who's doing it? Who's the guy that's doing it right now, man?
There's a guy in my area who was up there. I'm trying to make some situations happen so we can get him on the show. And he
Okay.
definitely has had a fleet of vehicles, and I guarantee you,
But
you
he's
guys,
had a fleet, or he still has the fleet.
he
That's
still
what I
has a fleet, maybe not as much in use as now.
see what I mean, bro. But
Yes.
that's what I'm talking about, man. That
Mm-hmm.
this is the big topic here, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not gonna hear the horror stories from these guys, bro. You're not gonna hear from the guy that's got 6 trucks that he ain't friggin' really banking like that. You're gonna tell I'm making that 6 truck money when he's making 2 to 3 trucks.
Then
That's the thing where
we
I'm a
might be
little skeptical at, man. So
we might be chasing something that we can't get the answer to.
Well,
no, see,
So
no, man. I'm not gonna give up, bro. There's somebody out there. There's
I have a
people out
feeling you're
there.
not.
I'm
I
waiting
have
for
a
somebody
feeling.
to chime in right now and be like, yo, so and so, put this guy straight. He's talking stupid. He thinks we can't make
Mm-hmm.
big money and scale like that. Smack him. He only thinks we could do 3 trucks. I'm hoping to get that smack in the back of the head, man, and say you're wrong right now. But right
I
now,
don't know.
that's what I'm feeling. I don't know, man.
It's
I
kind of
mean,
hard
I
because
mean,
no, go ahead, Julio.
sorry. So I'm not trying to but I was saying for you guys, because I'm just an employee too, and I mean, I'm their first employee for Matt and JoJo. But for you guys, have you guys had a hard time finding people that take you guys' business serious? Because I feel like sometimes when you hire people, they don't take like the truck serious, they don't take the equipment serious. They just kind of take it like as another job. Do you guys have a hard time?
What made you, bro? Everybody wants a Julio, and I'm not just saying it. Like, what made you different? Because we need to figure out what made you so connected with Matt and JoJo that you were just, the best employee there is.
And that's a saying. Oh, hang on. That's a saying because everybody says, I need a Julio. Like
Yeah.
you guys put that on the map. Like Matt, you guys put that on the map. I need a Julio.
Well, I mean, I guess it's them trusting me. I mean, I've seen like who worked for him before, and then like them trusting me being his old neighbor, and then him giving the business card, telling me, hey, here's a truck for you. Like whenever you got to bring your kids, this and that. and just giving me the trust to like when I go to business or when I go to jobs, he trusts me with like the estimates and stuff like that. Um,
But
honestly,
were you this guy before them? You know, like were you the like super employee before that at other jobs, or you not really? Look at
uh,
you smirking. By that smirk, I don't think so.
I mean, at the ask around at Providence, I used to pull what 12, 15-hour shifts with no appreciation. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
nowadays when I used to work at Providence and then working with Cinema Strong Hauling, there's a bigger picture to it, and you know you can kind of like look forward for your for your future. At the hospital, it was just a running circle. You know, people always
Programmed. You were
just
just
like,
programmed.
oh yeah, it's just negative, and people always saying, oh, you got too big of a dreams, or why are you gonna quit this job because you've been here for 8 years? It's like
Hmm.
you guys don't know what I'm trying to do for my future. So if you guys don't know where I'm at, I mean, I can't really take your guys' advice because it was just people that are always just trying to tell me, oh, this and that you're not gonna be nowhere. Fast forward, I've been there for 3 years now. I mean, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
So is it the job security? Is it the relationship that you have with them? What really sticks out that what we want to look like? If I want to go find somebody that's going to be dedicated like you and all, what's some key characteristics that I should look in them?
Just having a good relationship, and then him always just telling me that like he's appreciative of me being there when he needs me. At my old job I never had that. So I mean, in my old job they were just like, oh, you want to work 12, 15-hour shifts. I was like, okay. Never got like, oh, thank you for this, thank you for that, nothing like that. With him you can really see that he appreciates everything I do for them, and you can see that.
Did you
Hmm.
ever think you were going to be famous and like a public figure? Like,
uh well, he told me that last year when I went to the junk expo. I didn't really know what to expect, but honestly, I'm loving every moment of it. And honestly, if I can make someone laugh and have a good day when they're having a bad day, I'm doing my job.
Well,
love
you definitely took the leap of faith, like all of us have done, and got into the business, and you trusted, and There's mad respect there for you and the Vic family, and they've trusted you, and because I've watched shows before when they talked about the Julio, but they weren't ready for that to get the Julio into the business yet. Because I've watched Matt's videos from day one, you know
Yeah,
what I mean, and uh, 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 the mad respect is there for you, and as you got the mad respect for them because you show up and you get the job done,
yeah,
and that's what it's about, especially putting that truck in your hands and
yeah,
saying, Julio, here's the key, meet me over there, and he knows you're going to meet him over there. He knows there's no bullshit. So that right there is very rare.